How would you like to improve your cardiovascular fitness, endurance, muscle strength, and posture by performing one simple modification to your walking? Welcome to the world of rucking. This is actually something I've done for some time, but I've kept it relatively mild so far in my own training. But I am, however, going to step it up this year. I think it's a great training method that you can employ, especially if you like to do longer hikes or backpacking trips like I do. Rucking is super simple. You put extra weight in a backpack and you walk. And that's it. Nothing too complex, nothing fancy, just walking with some extra weight. What I really love about it is that it's really simple way to increase all of those things we mentioned in the beginning of this video. It's very simple and scalable, but it can significantly improve your strength and your fitness level. Rucking really began as a military-oriented training exercise, and it dates way back to the 7th century BC from what I understand and what I've read. It makes sense that it's been around a long time, especially from a military perspective. Obviously, you would want your forces to be able to carry all of the gear that they might need and to do that effectively over longer distances for extended periods of time. So training for that would be very wise, right? It has evolved to some degree today, mostly in the improvements made to materials and gear, and it has gained quite a bit of popularity in recent years as well, for good reason. It really is a great way to train because of the benefits, and they're very real. It's a really simple thing that is highly accessible to everybody. If you have a backpack and some weights, you're really pretty good to go. There are some slight advantages to using gear specifically designed for this, and so I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. I do think, though, that any standard backpack and some water bottles or weights would work just fine in most cases. I use a regular day pack and I just load it up with extra gear and water weight typically. I might even throw some rocks in there just to add some extra weight when I want, and this works fine. The nice part of that method is that when you've had enough, you can just ditch the rocks on the side of the trail, right, and carry on, no big deal. I would like to note one thing that's important, I think, about a regular day pack. Now, this isn't just some cheap pack that you buy at Walmart. It's actually a decent backpack that has well-designed straps and suspension system, has a waist belt and a chest belt, and it's all highly adjustable so that it can ride comfortably on your waist and your shoulders when you adjust it properly. I think purchasing a proper backpack that has a good strap and support system is really well worth it for those reasons. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in a moment. If you use ruck specific gear, it will be a slightly modified backpack that's designed to carry tall, flat weights, which you can kind of slide down into these sleeves and they stand upright on your back. And those come in various sizes with a couple of different weights too. And the nice part of a ruck specific setup is the weight distribution in my mind. It keeps the weights upright and closer to your body in the back, which tends to ride very well as you walk. And I'll include a link below to a site where you can check out some of that more specific kind of ruck gear. If you're just throwing rocks or dumbbells in your backpack, it tends to kind of all lump down into one area in the bottom of your pack, and it's not quite as evenly distributed. And I think you can kind of get what I mean when I say that. And this is not a real big deal, but if you have a significant amount of weight, it could be a bit more awkward to carry at the least. For most people, though, they aren't going to be putting a ton of weight in their pack anyway to do this. So, in fact, I wouldn't even recommend that you use more than 10 to 20 pounds, especially if you're just getting started. Start out with 10 and see how that feels for you over a few miles of walking. You can still get the benefits of smaller amounts of weight because you'll be engaging more of your core muscles, your legs, and your back. It's always good to err on the side of caution here. I think there's no need to kill yourself. So test it out and work your way up slowly, right? Just start with a small weight and work your way up. When you do feel like stepping up the amount of weight to something more than 15 to 20 pounds, I do think it might be worth looking at getting a proper rucksack or weights for your training and, the weights that fit in there for your training so that you kind of have that proper weight distribution. Alternatively, if you want to continue just using a more standard backpack, just be sure to pack that backpack carefully and in a way that balances the weight inside. You just want to make sure that's distributed and evenly balanced. It'll just be a lot more comfortable to carry. It'll help avoid putting any unnecessary strain on your body, which might lead to pain or injury. Let's switch gears here and talk about a few other important aspects of rucking that you should keep in mind and pay attention to. These are just a few additional points that I'd like to make, and one in particular that we have talked about often throughout my videos, which is keeping your safety top of mind always. I don't always want to harp on this, but I also don't want you to do anything that's going to cause you pain or injury. It's just not pleasant. Nobody wants to deal with that. Always listen to your body and pay attention to your form and your current level of ability when you're performing any kind of physical activity, and just adjust as needed to avoid that. Another thing I'd like to encourage you to do before rucking is to practice some of your stretching exercises. Once again, I don't want to get into the debate about the benefits of this. I simply ask that you experiment with it for yourself and see if it works for you. Try stretching a little bit beforehand and just note how you feel before and after. If it feels beneficial for you to do a little warm up before you go out rucking, or if you find that it helps alleviate some of the soreness after, maybe it's worth experimenting with. It's your body, so try for yourself and see what it's telling you. I'd like to bring it back to the conversation of using a proper backpack and always fitting that pack properly to avoid soreness and general discomfort that you can have from this type of training. I think there's a few noteworthy things to mention here that might help you quite a bit. The first thing I would say is that most people don't wear a backpack real often, especially one with any significant amount of weight in it. For this reason, you should know that it may not be comfortable at first, right? Your shoulders and your traps back here are going to be sore the first few times that you try this. I get this myself and I pack a fair bit. But there are a few things that will help you considerably in this area. First off, make sure that you adjust your pack properly. If you have any doubt about how to do this, you can find all sorts of different videos right here on YouTube that show you exactly how. But if you're purchasing it maybe at a store for this purpose, the merchant can probably help you with this. They can show you how to fit it, make sure you size it properly and fit it. And if they just give you a little bit of a hand, you can kind of do all that right there in the store. And that might be well worth your time to actually do that. There are a couple of other very helpful tips that I'd like to offer, which could help significantly reduce the discomfort that you experience when you're wearing a pack because of having all that weight in it. Try to keep your head up and your chest open. And this will help to reduce fatigue and soreness after. Proper diaphragmatic breathing while performing your exercise means breathing in a way that expands your belly first before expanding the chest. Many people breathe into their chest, but breathe into your belly. In fact, a great way to get the feel for this is if you just lay face down on the floor, kind of rest your head in your hands like this, and just take a few deep breaths, pressing your belly into the floor, your belly button. You're going to feel how that diaphragmatic breathing is properly done. And you'll get that immediate feedback that just shows you how to do that breathing when you stand upright. I recommend you do that while you're out doing your rucking and just practice that breathing regularly. Also breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just do your best to keep practicing to improve that over time. This is going to help you breathe deeper and more efficiently over time, even if it does feel a little bit difficult at first. Another thing is to try to breathe with lateral expansion as well. So in addition to breathing into your belly, make sure you're expanding your sides as well. You can actually get back down on that position on the floor and lay on your side and feel the expansion of the side so that you know that you're getting that lateral breathing. We don't always breathe like that, but if you lie on your side and kind of get the sense of how that feels, you just want big expansion. You're getting more air into your lungs by doing this. So if you just do that diaphragmatic breathing, you get the lateral expansion. I think if you're just combining that with breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, you're going to radically improve the air that you're able to get into your lungs. And this is just going to help you so well out on the trail, doing your outdoor sports and activities. And over time, it's just going to improve your breathing. So I think that'll be really helpful for you. By breathing this way and paying attention to your posture while you're wearing your ruck pack, it's going to greatly help you reduce the soreness in your traps while you strengthen those and move away from feeling discomfort that could come with carrying a weight in your pack. Not only will this help you with your exercises, but when we get out onto the trail to do some hiking and backpacking, which is really just rucking in the mountains, you're going to be able to go much further and much more comfortably over time. And this is ideal for obvious reasons. So there you have it. We covered a fair bit in this video series, but I hope that you can see the value of everything we've discussed to this point. This series really does provide you with multiple different options that you can use to create and customize a routine that'll help you take great care of your body and prepare you for all the adventures that we'd like to tackle. And the best part is that all of these options, they're all highly flexible in both accessibility and intensity. It really comes down to what your goals are, what you enjoy doing, and where you'd like to begin. I really wanted to create something that will always be a valuable resource for people who are ready to get started being more active and healthy, or people who aspire to doing more outdoor sports or activities. And I hope I've delivered that value for you here in this series. Please like this video and subscribe if you found this valuable, and drop by my website sometime at outdoorinformed.com to check out our blog. And if you want to sign up for our newsletter, that'd be great. We'll send you some interesting information a little more often. Thank you for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.